Hey, sweet babies. Um, I had to catch my breath a little bit before I got started because the last hour and a half for me has been something. It has been something. I am going to tell you right now in the very beginning of this here video, my emotions are a little bit all over the place because, and excuse me for this mirror, I'm not having a vain moment. I've been crying. I had like a spontaneous combustion and didn't even know what was going to happen. Got off work. Work was challenging, but not challenging and overwhelming enough to bring me to tears. It was just challenging. So I was very tired. I was a little bit drained mentally because of the challenges. Y'all, anybody that work with anybody in any work environment, workplace drama and some of the shenanigans you have to deal with. And sometimes when you get home, you need a breather. So, I got home, of course, spirit still high, let it off, just kind of like a woosah. I had to sit around for a good little minute because I was so tired physically, because my job is physically demanding as well. But I was so tired, I just had to sit where I was sitting and just look around. I couldn't go ahead and change my clothes, do my 1-2 real quick, transform so I can relax. Because I love the fact that I work so early in the morning that I get off before, I go to work before everybody is up and really moving around, and then I get off while everybody not in your way. So I thought I was going to just, try and relax a little bit, prepare my heart and mind to do this last episode. This is the last January episode. We already done with month 1 in 2025. And I told you guys that 2025 for me was 2025 is all the way live. It's going to be all the way live 2025. And if the Lord allows, in September, I will be 55. So I will be 55 and all the way live in 2025, right? So I was excited and I was preparing in my mind to get ready to do this broadcast and to film this video so that I can wrap up January, because it's been good. And the theme for January, for those of you who might be new and might be experiencing me for the very first time, the theme for the January series was New Year's Restitution. New Year's restitution. And we define restitution as something that it's your get back. It's something, it's recompense for something that you believe you were owed, or something that may have been stolen from you or taken away from you, just to be restored in that regard, from something that was taken from you or stolen from you in some capacity, whatever it was, little, big, whatever it was, personal, professional, financial, spiritual, emotional, whatever it was, you wanted restitution if you were seeking restitution. And I'm going to do a quick wrap up because I am and I brought, look, because y'all know I'm going to be me and I'm authentic. I got my paper towel, my tissue, because I'm probably still going to shed some tears. And I'll share with you guys why I was crying and everything right before this, but you got to press on. There's a mission, and there is, God gave me a God moment for this mission, even on today. And I guess now looking at it, since I've had a portion of a moment to get myself together, there's a rhyme and a reason why he just dropped that whole scenario and that ball of emotions on me and had me think about the things that I was thinking about before this broadcast, because it just came from left field, as they say. I'm not a sports person, so I really don't know what come from left field mean, but y'all know and y'all get it. It just was like from out of nowhere, but it really took an effect and it took a toll. But then once I caught a breather, it made perfect sense why it had to happen right before this broadcast. So to wrap it up, and y'all know when I'm looking down, I'm looking at my computer, right? So for January, because we had 5 this month, because there were 5 Thursdays this month. On the 2nd, we wanted to identify what the problem was. You needed to think and really establish what happened that you feel that you need to seek restitution for? What was the problem? We wanted you to be a thinker. We wanted you to be proactive and not reactive, and figure out, first of all, what's the problem? And then, is it just habit now that you've been holding a grudge so long, or this thought so long? And remember, I am not diminishing in any way whatever the situation was. I just want you to be a thinker and be conscious. If this is something that's holding you up and holding you back from your next and your now, I wanted you to identify what the problem or problems were that you feel like you need restitution from. Week 2, which was the 9th, what was the point? We wanted you to establish your why. Why, especially if it's been like a prolonged period of time, why do you even want restitution? Or is it something that's just been embedded in your heart, your mind, your soul, your life, your thought processes, that it just hasn't gone away and it's just hanging around? Is it still relevant? So we wanted you to establish your why. When you looked at the things that you felt like you needed restitution from and for, and then we wanted you to identify those things and then figure out why. Why do I really want it? Especially if it's been like years. Because we all know that some people get caught up in holding on to things for years, things that aren't even relevant anymore. Now, if there were things that were really life-changing and impactful that you need closure from, that you need cleansing from, that you need healing from, that's different. But there are some things that aren't as big that we just get used to holding on to, and that clutters our life space. We give it too much. What did they say? They live in rent-free in your head. Far too long. So we wanted you to identify what was the problem and then figure out what's the point. Why do I even want restitution? And then on the 16th, what was the purpose? After you figured out what it was, 1 or 2 or 3 or however many things, however many problems, to figure out what your why was, to identify a why for each of those problems. We wanted you to think about what was the purpose. Figure out what you want to achieve. Okay, after you sought it, after you maybe got the apology, after you got the money back, okay, what now? Was it just that? Was it just to establish, okay, I just need an apology and I'm good? What was the purpose? What were you going to do after you receive what you feel that, and I'm saying it could be justifiably so. Remember, I'm not diminishing or belittling any life event, any occurrence, any personal happening that you may have gone through, why you feel you need restitution from it. But we want you to, okay, now that you got the apology, or now that you've gone to court, or whatever it was, what was the whole purpose? Okay, now, it's just well with my soul because you wronged me and I felt like I was owed an apology. Okay, you did that. Oh, boom, hands clean. We can move forward. We can push past. I got the closure that I needed, So we wanted you to figure out what was the purpose of it. What was it? What was the point? What was your why? Why do you want it? And then when you get it, what now? What was the whole purpose of it? Was it purposeful? Was it useful? Did it add value? Can you move on now? Can you get it out of your life space? Empty that. So that you can be able to receive something new and something better for your now and for your next. And then last week, we wanted you to think about the price. That was kind of like the heavy Chevy. That was the heavy one. What was the price? If you really went after restitution, and especially if it was something big and heavy and potentially monstrous, what's the price? We wanted you to be a thinker and conscious and really don't just be reactive, be proactive, especially if you've been pursuing this thing for many, many years. We wanted you to identify what the potential price of it all would be. How disruptive would it be to your own life or to the lives of many others? Is this something that's been going on for so many years that now it won't just affect you and the other party? It could be many, many people. It could be a community attached to it. It could be a job. It could be a church family. It could be your own personal, immediate family or extended family. What is the price? Or whatever it is you're trying to pursue. So that was last week, and the final episode, the final piece of the pie in the puzzle. Today, we want to say, what is your plan? Okay, if you have fashioned in your heart that restitution is what you deserve, what you need, what you want, and what you desire, today we're going to try to figure out what's the plan. How are you going to seek out this restitution? Now, I'm going to give you a few guidelines and I'm going to move on, because this thing is not going to be super long, because y'all know I can carry, and therefore I can get carried away, because I'm trying to share with you guys and love on you guys, because I love you guys, and I want you guys to be better. I want you to be better and not bitter. I want you to be free of any clutter in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit, in your emotions, in your soul. I want you to be free, because it's a freedom that I've experienced, and because it made me feel better and made my entire life better. I want that for you. So we want to help you with your plan. And I looked up and researched what a good plan of attack would be. Because, sometimes you got to be strategic about stuff. You just can't be out here all willy-nilly and doing things haphazardly. You need to be strategic about some things. So I have some tips for you. And later on, if you need to dive deeper, or if you need a refresh, I can send it to you in a PDF form. If your email has the capacity to receive PDFs, because I've done that before, I can upload it and then send it to your email, the notes. So let's get right to it. And for those of you who don't know, we reference the story of Joseph and his brothers in the Bible. Joseph and his brothers had beef, or Joseph's brothers had beef with him, and they wanted to kill him, pretty much. Now, that is a serious grudge. That is a serious situation. When it's that far gone, and it's your blood kin. This not some randoms. This your blood kin. These your people, and they want you dead. It was dysfunction in the family, and they wanted him dead. Okay? So what had happened was, in the future, as God had seen fit, the plan for Joseph's life is that his brothers would eventually, they didn't kill him, but they sold him into slavery. And that started a snowball effect to other things that actually positioned Joseph to be a power player and actually promoted him. See, they meant to do him harm, but God's plan for Joseph actually promoted him. So much so that those same brothers that was hoping for his demise or hoping for ill will toward him had to come to him in a time of need. There was famine in the land, and Joseph had gotten elevated so much and received promotion so much that he was now in the position to say yay or nay to helping their entire family. And these men didn't even know who he was, because some time had passed and the life that he led totally transformed him. He was a whole different dude. And you know how that goes. In your past, things might have happened, and then you evolve and people haven't seen you for years, and now you a whole different dude, or you a whole different woman, a whole different person. You're not even the same person that they was holding a grudge about many years ago. Because that happens. I mean, sometimes people remain the same, and yes, you are. But in Joseph's case, he had got promoted and elevated, and God brought that thing full circle to now his family, his blood kin, the people that plotted on him and against him, wished him ill will, so much to the point that they had made a plot and a plan to kill him, but sold him into slavery, even still. Raggedy, ratchet, but a product of dysfunction. And I know that a lot of us can attest to it. If you have been raised in a dysfunctional environment, and if that was a piece and a portion of your life, things happen. I mean, now we say life be life, and well, honey, life was life, and for the brother Joseph. But when his brothers came, his heart. See, that's why you got to be careful of how you treat people, and why you should really look beyond people's faults and see their need. Because you don't never know when you're going to need someone that you've discarded and thrown away, or that you've done a dirty deed to. You don't ever know. So they had to come before. That man could have made a ruling that destroyed all of them. He could have had them locked up or anything. I mean, he was in a power player position, but they needed him. And let me read the scripture because this is so powerful. And this is the culmination of this month's series. Okay. Because I want you to think with a godly heart. If you are the seeker of restitution and you need recompense and you need to be repaid, you need your big payback. You need, quote unquote, you need to get your lick back. You need to get that closure. Or whatever it is, you just need some resolve and you need things restored that were taken or stolen from you. The scripture was taken from Genesis chapter 50, and I just pulled from verses 15 to 21. And this is what it said. And excuse me from turning sideways, y'all. I have to deal with my profile and the way my hair is looking from the side, but I'm reading from my computer, and this is where it is. It says, when Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead, they said, what if Joseph holds a grudge against us and pays us back for all the wrong things we did to him? See, a lot of people know when they do you dirty. So they sent word to Joseph, don't kill the messenger. They sent word to Joseph saying, your father has left these instructions before he died. They was trying to cover their tracks and they was trying to butter things up and smooth things over before they actually had to come before their brother. Your father left these instructions before he died. This is what you are to say to Joseph. I ask you to forgive your brothers their sins. Forgive your brothers the sins and the wrongs they committed in treating you so badly. Okay? Now, please forgive the sins of the servants of the God of your father. They brought God into the situation, y'all. They was really trying to set it up before they had to go back before the power player. Sometimes people got to eat crows, as they say, that humble pie. They got to come down with a bow down head and an humble heart before, when they might have been so arrogant and cocky and all caught up in who they were. And they was like gang, and they was really, they pretty much jumped him, with your people and y'all in the power position. So y'all making decisions that aren't really godly and then had a long lasting effect. But here is the God in this. When their message came to him, Joseph wept. This man had so much love in his heart that when he had to finally settle things, when it was time for probably that restitution, he cried. Which shows me maybe, just maybe, I don't know, I wasn't there, but just looking at the human aspect of it all and knowing my own personal experiences, maybe, just maybe, he wasn't as bad as they thought. Maybe, just maybe, they got it all wrong. Maybe, just maybe, they got caught up and overwhelmed with their own egos. And maybe they didn't address the family dysfunction in the way that they should have before it had even gotten to that point. And I told you, and Lord, forgive me if I'm being a false accuser, but looking at it from the human standpoint, I blame a great part of it on Joseph's father, the favoritism thing. I told y'all in the very beginning of this series, be careful, especially if you have a multitude of children. Be careful about that favoritism thing. The decisions that you make as a parent, the decisions that you make as a leader on the job, be careful about showing more favoritism to one employee than another. In the church, if you are a ministry head, be careful about showing favoritism to one parishioner or one member over the other. Be careful with that. Because for one, God is going to hold you accountable for the decisions that you make in leadership. I'm not a politician and I don't get off into politics, but our leader now, and everybody is looking crazy. But the way that I believe and the faith that I have, God is the head of all that. And God is not blind. And God sees everything. And God is going to handle everything the way that he sees fit. Okay? But I'm saying all that to say, in leadership, in the power player position, please don't get caught abusing your power, misusing your power, causing division, derision, disruption in the negative. Be very careful with that. And especially in your own blood kin family. That favoritism thing, that arm of dysfunction can destroy so much, can ruin lives for years, can leave scars that are hard to heal for years. But Joseph wept. That showed me something about his character. After all that, because guess what? They didn't know what happened to him after the slave traders took him. They just chalked it. He could have been dead for all they knew. Just dead. Okay, we're done with him. Hands clean. We're done. He's gone. The slave traders have him. So, that's what the brothers could have thought. But then little did they know God was elevating Joseph. And now this man is in a power player position. And now God brought it full circle that they have to actually come to him for help. Restitution, people. And here's a forewarning. I told y'all, I tell y'all what I know and not just what I heard. If you are strong enough to take your hands off some situations and just let God be God, he can handle it way more flawlessly than you can. And there'll be no dirt on your hands, and you won't be guilty of wrongdoing. And he can put you in a power player position because you honored him, and you honored him at his word. You took him at his word. You lived according to his word and by his word, and you relied on his strength. You took your hands off it and let God be God. And just like with Brother Joseph, who knows? He could bring your situation full circle too. Instead of just trying to get your lick back on your own and by your own strength and with your own method and modalities. Okay? He wept. His brothers came and threw themselves down before him. Now they're humble. Now they're showing the respect and the dignity and the love that they could have did way back in the day at the house instead of the palace. Okay? But God's plan. His brothers came and threw themselves down before him. We are your slaves, they said. But Joseph said to them, thank you, God. But Joseph said to them, don't be afraid. It's like, I ain't tripping. I squash it. Water under the bridge. What's done is done. Que sera, sera. Don't be afraid. Am I in the place of God? He still knew his place and honored his place. I gave it to God. God just, like them t-shirts we wear, only God can judge me. Am I in the place of God? That's not my business. That was God's business. Is essentially what he was telling them. And I have taken that approach so many times. And baby, let me tell you, living guilt-free, instead of getting your lick back and knowing you still got to deal with it. And then especially if you're the type of person that will carry a guilty conscience. Now, some people don't even care. They're going to get their lick back and just feel great about it. But God's still going to have to deal with you, though. Okay? He said, am I in the place of God? You intended to harm me. Like, I ain't stupid. And yeah, that was a serious situation that we were in. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. And not just for me, but guess what? To accomplish what is now being done. God's plan. And see, you got to be strong when you have a Joseph calling. Or like all the patriarchs and matriarchs and our ancestors in the Bible. You got to be strong, because some callings, I told y'all, some callings and assignments absolutely suck. You be like, what, God? What? That's for me? That's my assignment? Can somebody else get that? Because, no. You guys say, you'll be strong. I got that from one of my friends. I told y'all before. I love that. He will always tell people, you'll be strong. And guess what? You'll be strong one way or the other. He said, I'm not in the place of God. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Sometimes when you have that plot and that plan and it's a dirty one, you messing up God's program. You messing up things that can help more than just you with your selfish self. And I understand sometimes that get back, things be serious. And you're like, I don't want to hear y'all talking about this forgiveness and this turn the other cheek and all this kind of stuff. No. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I'm not trying to hear that. Okay. But it's called consequences and repercussions. Okay? The saving of many lives. It could be the saving of many families. The saving of your children and your children's children. The saving of your job. The saving of your position in the company. The saving of your retirement funds. The saving of your church family. The saving of the growth of your church. The saving of your philanthropic efforts. The organizations you're attached to. In your own community. The saving of many lives. So then, this is Joseph still talking. Joseph was a G. Don't be afraid. Y'all ain't got nothing to worry about. I ain't tripping. Don't sweat it. We cool. We straight. It's squashed. Don't be afraid. I will provide. Now, come on. Now, he knows it's by the power of God. But here it is being elevated and being used as a vessel. The same person that you want to just discard and throw away. Don't be afraid. I will provide for you. And then guess what? He went the extra mile because he was extra dope and extra godly. I will provide for you and your children. Sometimes squashing a beef can do way more good than the harm that you want to get that instantaneous, that gratification, that fulfillment. And I know it's hard. Living in flesh. Sometimes that thing's so hard. You just want to blow up everybody's life because that's what they did to you. You want to blow up their life. You've been suffering for 20 years. You've been suffering for 30 years, almost 40 years. And they seem to be just living their life like it's golden. Living their life like it's golden. Like they laughing at you because you still struggling. I mean, a lot of them, if you know the real story, they're struggling too. For real, in one capacity or another. But I told y'all I want y'all to be thinkers. Because that moment of gratification when you satisfy your flesh and you go ahead on and carry out your plan for the get back, the big payback. Because you're like, nope, I'm not letting them get that one off. Nope, they can't get away with that. Nope. Some things. Now, there are some things that you can handle through conversation, through mediation. Sometimes the courts may have to get involved. I don't know what the situation is that you want to seek restitution for. Private matters. There could be, what do they call those? Oh, I guess it is a mediator in the court or before things, just go too far, get a mediator or counseling. Or if it's a church situation, maybe the leadership of the church, you could have a meeting that way. Try to seek other ways to resolve issues. I just don't want you to do anything that's going to be ungodly. Definitely nothing criminal. Please don't be out in these streets, tearing up the city trying to get people back because, whoa, especially if you claim Christian, because it's like double whammy. Remember, well, I don't know about everybody, but when we was younger and you got in trouble in school, the neighborhood was like the family hood. So you didn't just get it from your mama. You would probably get it from the teacher. Then you would get it from Big Mama or the lady that was like your auntie up the street, found out. And then by the time you got home, it was your mom that was going to get you, or your mom and your dad, or your big sister or brother. You was going to get got many ways. Now we don't really have to account for so much. Well, we think. But remember, God is always watching. So while you plotting and planning, if you're trying to seek restitution that is not godly and God forbid criminal, you might get it off. But not really, because God is still watching. So Joseph said, I'm telling you, he was a G. A lot of people wouldn't have went this far. Double for your trouble. He said, I will provide for you and your children. How gangster is that? Y'all wanted to kill me. You threw me in a pit. And then, I mean, it's cool. Y'all say, well, we ain't going to kill him. But y'all sold me into slavery. Y'all sold me. My brothers, you sold me to slave traders. Anything could have happened to me. But guess what? Something did happen to me. God elevated me in a way that you couldn't have even imagined. Just because of that dysfunction, jealousy, probably pride, ego, all those things. Because it wasn't just one brother. It was like the brothers. They wanted him gone. It was done. And remember I said, I still include their father for not handling his business as a parent. Promoting favoritism. It's going to backfire. Don't do that to your kids. Don't do that to your kids. And I know parents say, and it's true, I mean, in some instances that you might have a closer relationship with one child over another, but baby, that public stuff and deliberately dividing your children against each other, that's wicked. And it's wrong. And it has lasting effects and repercussions on your grown adult children that could affect their children or the way that they just live their everyday life, the relationships they refuse, or the kind of relationships that they seek out, more dysfunction. Don't do that. Please don't do that. So Joseph said, don't be afraid. I will provide for you and your children. And he reassured them. And guess what else? And spoke kindly to them. I told you he wasn't I ain't tripping. Of course, I'm going to use some of my urban vernacular because that's me. And, I like to translate it like that, make it approachable and make it make sense. It's like, I ain't tripping. We good. What y'all need? I'm going to hook y'all up. I'm going to take care of y'all. Y'all my family. What you mean? Y'all my family. I got you. Water under the bridge. Now, was it raggedy? What y'all tried to do to a brother? Oh, yeah. But we straight. Don't even sweat it. So, this whole month, and I mean, even if you care to, this whole month we focused on trying to give you an option, a positive option, instead of being raggedy in your pursuit of restitution. We tried to provide for you a positive option. Be godly and don't be ghetto. In my own terms. Be godly, don't be ghetto. I might put that on a t-shirt. Y'all do know I make t-shirts, right? Be godly, don't be ghetto. Think about it. Oh, I told y'all a little special ed. Think about it. Think about it. Think about the decision before you make it. Now, I mean, of course, if you got to take somebody to small claims court, that kind of restitution, financial, handle your business. But that the ones that I'm more focused on and considering is that deep spiritual stuff, the emotional stuff, the stuff that scar people and mess people up for years. And then they messed up and they end up messing other people up. That's the kind of stuff that I'm really talking about. Okay? So be a thinker when you're out here trying to seek restitution. I'm not saying you're wrong. All I'm saying is think about it. So today I was supposed to help you make a plan if you're going to seek restitution. And I'm going to run through the points because I just did an entire recap and I don't want this video to be that long. And remember, I said, if you want, I can send the notes in a PDF form to you, to an email. And if not, then cool. Just keep playing the video over. But I'm going to hit the highlights of the points so I can let you guys go. And also, just shed a little light about why I told y'all I was like emotional. And y'all see, I don't know if at the very beginning, if you go back, you can see that my eyes kind of looked heavy and it wasn't the brightness that you normally see. I kind of got it together, thanks be unto God, while I was talking to you guys. But Yeah, he brought that out of nowhere right before I was going to broadcast to you guys. It was crazy. But let's go over the notes. Remember, this episode is Make a Plan. Okay? So, I was able to research, and y'all know I have my window open, so a lot of people be, oh, please forgive all the noises in the background. No, baby, I told y'all just a few weeks ago, a couple months ago, I wasn't able to have none of this view and hear none of the sounds outside. So I'm living my life like it's golden, and you just gonna have to deal with them good sounds because that's just real life. And I don't super edit my videos. That's why I'll be going live, because you're gonna get what you're gonna get. So here's some things to consider when you're in pursuit of gaining restitution. Okay? And then I can send you the notes if you don't retain these items. Number 1, acknowledge your hurt or the hurt from whatever the situation was. It hurt me. You ain't pay me back my $500 and that was my last and I trusted you. I mean, whatever. Acknowledge the hurt. It hurt me, Mom, that you chose my sister over me constantly. It hurt. Acknowledge the hurt in whatever the situation was, okay? Number 2, communicate openly. Please, 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 because I've seen it more times than not. Don't be passive aggressive. Stop telling everybody else. And if you can, if it is not a life-threatening, dangerous, harmful situation now, I'm not trying to, put you in a dangerous position. If you can, communicate the issue with the problem, the person. Stop telling everybody else. Okay? Go to the person. Sometimes beefs can be avoided. And people being shocked like I ain't even know. Now, a lot of those people actually do know. But I'm saying, you never know. But don't be passive aggressive. And stop telling everybody and their mama about it. And not you haven't even told the person. Maybe it could have been a situation where y'all talking about. Now, some situations are so evolved that there ain't no way. Ask the Lord to lead you. In every case, I won't just say in that case. In every case, ask God to lead you and help you with your plan. But acknowledge the hurt. Communicate openly. Express the need for your restitution. Why? Why? You got to be clear about what would help repair the harm. Some people will probably laugh you under the table because they don't really care and they're heartless. And it's like they making fun of you for even coming to them with this ludicrous proposal. And they laughing at you even more because they feel you a simp and a sucker and whatever. Oh, girl, whatever. Deal with it. But that's okay. The Father sees everything. He don't miss a beat. You just got to be strong, little baby. You got to be strong, okay? But at least you won't be guilty of not trying to handle it God's way. Acknowledge the hurt. Communicate openly. Express the need to them. Why you need the restitution. And then, depending on what side of the coin you on, offer or seek a genuine apology. I tried to do that in one conversation, and this is where you got to be strong and you got to access the God in you. And because hey, baby, I don't pull no punches, and I've lived a life that was full of dysfunction, and I learned a long time ago that it would better my heart, my mind, my soul if I spoke up and went directly to the source. And there was this one young lady that I did have the conversation with, and because we talking about genuine apology, that baby told me, and I knew that that's where she was in her true heart, in her true self. So I couldn't judge her, but this is where we were. Was it what I needed, what I wanted, what I desired? No, but this is what that baby told me. Well, I'm sorry if I made you feel that way, but that's not me. And that was the apology. That was her heart of hearts. That was her truth. I'm sorry if I made you feel that way, but that's not me. That's her truth. That's their truth. You can't shake them and wake them and make them. That's their truth. Let them live in their truth. Does it suck? Did you want it to be sweeter? Did you want it to be more in your favor? Perhaps so. Sometimes you're not going to get it, babe. But give it to God. If you start with God, you'll go through the situation with God. And then you can, hands off. I've totally given this to God. Now you're guilt-free because you actually tried to resolve the situation in a godly way. Let me give you my guru hands. Okay? So, be open. Wait. And then under the genuine apology, it says, set boundaries if needed. Baby, 2024 for your good Angela was all about the boundaries. And guess what? It wasn't me just, I'm cutting people out. No, because a lot of the boundaries I had to set absolutely hurt. Very painful. And guess what? The boundaries that I had to set, a lot of them weren't even just for me. It was for me and them too. It was for the greater good. It was for the godly good. It was for God. Great God. Good God Almighty. Okay? You got to learn how to set boundaries, baby. And guess what? Sometimes you're the problem. Some people need boundaries from you. So maybe you need to pull back. Okay? Be open to rebuilding trust. Some situations, because I've been through a gamut and quite the variety. Some, I forgive you and I love you with the love of Christ. But we can't kick it. We can't talk on the phone. We can't share life space. We can't hang out anymore. It's just done. But if there is God-given opportunity and the situation isn't like that, ask God to, talk to your heart and maybe you could try to rebuild. Okay? Instead of just in a negative way. Yeah, well, I forgive, but I ain't gonna never forget. You haven't forgiven then, sweetie. Because it's a lot of stuff people be nervous around me and bring back to my remembrance, and I forgot about it a long time ago. Because I'm just like, la, la, la. And the Lord has freed me from so much. So, I don't know. It just says be open to rebuilding trust. Then, like I was saying earlier, maybe if you need to, seek mediation. You might need a go-between. You might need a referee. Please don't be out here boxing in these streets and be on World Star or 19 Action News somewhere. Be Christ. Be on somebody's YouTube video, their Instagram, they Snapchat, if Snap is chatting, and whatever else is out there, and TikToking. Body rocking and TikToking. Okay? And it says find closure even if restitution is not given. Let me get all up in y'all face. Sweet babies of mine. Sometimes you won't get the restitution you desire. Okay? I'm telling you from what I know, not just what I heard. Sometimes those people going to deny that they ever did anything wrong. Sometimes people not going to say, you ain't never loaned me no money. What you talking about? You a liar. Or sometimes they will even slander your name in the good streets because they're influential. And now they got a whole other tribe of people against you. Got to be good with that. You got to be God with that. You got to give it to God. Because sometimes that's just the way it works on this side of glory. You're not going to get the restitution. Now, sometimes you might just get a win and the Lord be like, okay, yeah. And you get that apology and you get your money back or whatever. And you guys squash it. And now you can get that off your mind and out of your heart in your life space. But you got to be strong and you got to be good if you don't get the restitution that you desire. Okay? You got to be ready for that possibility. That's truth because that's the way life works. All right. Now remember that was 8 different ways to make a plan if you're seeking restitution, okay? So, we have honored this month's theme. We have made it to the end of January, y'all. And let me tell you, if y'all been listening to me, I'm so excited about next month. If you haven't heard, next month's theme is for lovers only. Hot diggity dang, dang, diggity dang, dang, dang. For lovers only, baby. And I can't wait. I'm so excited. I've got my little outline together. Let me stop saying little. I'm so used to that. It's so derogatory. I've gotten my outline together and I'm ready to share with you guys. And I'm so glad for the evolution from when I started back in August doing this to now. I have evolved and I'm very comfortable now. Didn't know which way that, the videos, what life form the videos were going to take, how I was going to do it, what I was going to do. Thought it was going to be a bunch of super editing and trying to do all the things that all the people say on YouTube and all of the influencers and the people who make the videos to try to instruct you. No, baby, was like, just God said, go live, be clear, be true, give the people what you got in the moment, and it's going to land where I need it to land. So that's what's been happening ever since August. And it's been amazing. And it's people who do return. I can't really see who you guys are, but the numbers show me that somebody out there watching, because them things be on there, man. Sometimes, hey, before it was like 10, then it was like 20. Then it was like 50 something. And then it was like 60 something. I'm like, woohoo! I hope they watching and this just don't click on and click right off, because it adds value if you take the time to listen. And if it's not just for you directly, it's for someone in your life space, or maybe someone that you'll encounter. Don't be selfish. Don't say, well, this doesn't apply to me, so I won't watch it. No, it might be something of value that you can share with someone else, or even send them to the link, because you do know I do have a YouTube channel that is Life Gumbo. That's my TikTok and my YouTube channel, Life Gumbo. So all of these series and all of these videos that I do on YouTube, that's live, I push them over to my, on Facebook, that's live, I push them over to my YouTube channel. And I make some cutesy posts on TikTok too. So it's called Life Gumbo. And that's me. So it's a little, well, you can't really tell, but it's a little black and white icon. It's actually a pot with some steam, the black part, gumbo, because just like life is so much mixed in, gumbo, so it's Life Gumbo. Yes, yes, yes. That's what God gave me. So that's what it is. And I enjoy it because I could be talking about anything. But yeah, next month, y'all, For Lovers Only. Back in the day when I was young, and I shouldn't have been listening to For Lovers Only, actually. But, I was, 13, 14, and I thought it was in love. I was in love, my little boyfriend. Yeah, but it was a song called For Lovers Only. And at a certain time of night, was it 10 or 11? I don't know. But For Lovers Only would come on, and they would be playing all the slow jams and all the hits. Now, I'm not going to be playing all the slow jams and all the hits. I don't think. But I'm going to make it make sense, and I'm going to make it relevant to you guys and to me, and it's going to be fun. So I hope you join me. Nobody can really catch me live because I do it so randomly, and I do not want to. I'm still not able, and I don't want to commit to a time to say, hey guys, every Thursday at 7, I'm going to go live. I can't commit to that right now. My life isn't that settled right now. So I jump on when I jump on, but I let these videos live on my timeline and on my YouTube channel. So you can go and reference them. But baby, next month, because I love Valentine's, and my sister could tell you, I love Valentine's Day. And people be like, that's just for couples. And no, for me, Valentine's Day is just for the love of love. And I've been celebrating it like that for years, whether I'm booed up or I try not to have no situationships. But if I am partnerless, which I have been for quite some time, but it's all strategic and focused. Yeah, in the name of Jesus. Yeah. But next month is going to be a whole vibe. And I will probably, my day off, I'll probably put the ad for it on my timeline. Maybe before the weekend is out. Because I have until next Thursday, but I like to build up the anticipation and show people what's coming, like the previews, because I love movies, coming soon. But yeah, next Thursday is the kickoff, February, For Lovers Only. That's the new series, and it's gonna be a vibe. I hope you join me. Bring a friend, tell somebody. All right, guys. So I said I was going to tell y'all one in the beginning, and it's not going to be long because then I'll probably start crying all over again. But God dropped it on my spirit and made me think about my good girlfriend who is going on to glory. She's living with the Father now in heaven, where I'll be whenever he calls me home. But yeah, it was a whole situation, and I won't go deep. You can look on my timeline about it, but it was a situation where, and it was her business, but she shared her business with me, and it was some serious business. I mean, she had cancer, and she held me to a vow. Not just me, a couple of the other sister girls in our circle. She held us to a vow to not tell other people. And it was very difficult because some of those other people were her blood kin. Now, was I honored because I was her sister by the blood of Jesus and through God's ties, but her blood kin? And there was a measure of guilt there because I had come to love them as well. And it was guilt. But I'm so honor code. Y'all don't even understand. I'm like back in the kingship eras, back in the whatever the times was, like I could have been a knight. I could have been a knight defending the king's honor. Like I'm a general. I'm a warrior. I'm high in ranking somewhere. I'm probably going to be in God's army. I'm so honor code that I committed to that vow. And it did some things because while there was honor in it, and, you know, you just can't share something like that's people's business, private business. And if they feel love enough for you to share something of that magnitude, it is dishonorable for you to just go and share it with the world. Because in those type of situations, people got a lot more going on than just the physical illness itself. And that's what happened. And my grief process, and y'all know I wrote the books about grief and processing. My grief process has been, I won't say long, it's sporadic. And just before out of the blue, I wasn't even thinking about my sister. Out of the blue, before I was going to jump on. And that's why in the beginning I said it was kind of like, in hindsight, the perfect caveat for this, because the restitution, I didn't even know that I wanted restitution. I felt like she stole. My choice from me to share with other people, because she know I'm so down, and she knew I was so down and so loyal. And then the restitution that I wanted and healing in my own personal self, feeling like I deceived people because we ran in a lot of the same circles with a lot of the same people. And I was held to a vow not to share with other people while she was experiencing this illness and going through her transition. And it wasn't until like now. And like I said, it hit me spontaneously. I wasn't even thinking about my sister. And thinking about tying it into restitution, I wasn't even thinking about connecting those dots. But the restitution that I found and the peace, and I was finally able to give words to all of the stuff that I was feeling about her holding me to that vow. And not telling people who could have loved on her, but she had her reasons. And that's big. And that was her business, even though she decided to share it with me. But it put me in a tight because we ran in the same circles. And I had a lot of people mad at me and disappointed with me. Like, you should have told us. But I'm all about that honor code. It's kicked me in the butt a lot, but I'm about that honor code. And I know that when I do it, I'm honoring God first. And then man. And I went through a thing right before getting on here. I mean, crying and snotting and Lord, but it was closure. And I might have a spell every now and again, but this seemed like restitution and a wrap up with all of this, because it's been a few years now. And I don't get sad all the time, and I'm not sad every single year, you know, or the day of her passing. If anything, I think of more good times. That's what I focus on, because we're both children of the light, and I know I'll see her again. But it just hit me from out the blue. But I think that was the Father loving on me again in his way. And allowing me to see that I have gotten closure and resolve. I told you I had brought my paper towels because I would probably get a little teary. But he gave me closure. Because she was like my closest friend. And watching people decline from something like that. Now, he took her fast from the time we found out to the time he actually gave her last breath. And even in watching someone take their last breath, that do something to you. Especially if it's a person that was very strong and vibrant. And you go with them through that journey. I could have been mad at God. You took my friend. You took my sister. I could have been mad at God. I could have wanted restitution from that. God helped me walk that walk where I'm not bitter because I know where she at. And why would I want her to still be here with cancer and, prolonged pain? That's dumb and selfish. What? And I'm grateful to him for taking her quickly. But yeah, how he just brought that to me out the blue before I get on the broadcast. And now, forget about putting on lashes for y'all. That was done. My eyes were still teary, but I did not want to miss this last episode. But he brought that to me. But then he tied it in and showed me it was me getting restitution. He gave me restitution. That's part of that peace package, y'all, that surpasses all understanding. I didn't know I was still grieving like this. And God wrapped it up. That was my girl, my homie. The one you share secrets with. The secrets is with her and God in glory. And, some of her secrets is still with me down on earth. But that was a big one. Not being able to share with our, people groups. We were in the same circles. And to be held to a vow of that magnitude, not to tell people. I mean, eventually people speculated if they were able to physically see her. Because, physical decline. But watching someone decline and then transition and you're there as they transition is very challenging. And then you have to handle the business of it all once they actually go. So I'm just grateful to God that he gave me that restitution. Because, it's sporadic. It don't happen all the time, but when it happened, it happened. And he just chose today. And it's just like him. Because the day was the last day about this series. Seeking restitution. I didn't know it was unresolved with me. Because I thought I was at peace with it. Because I understood it. And I know I'll see her again. Because that's my faith. So guys, all I can say is go with God. Whether it's about money or family issues, dysfunction doesn't linger too long. If you're seeking restitution for something, please, it'll help your life. Let God be a part of it. Because some things you cannot do in your own strength. Okay? So I told y'all, and I had to wait to the very end because I knew this, this. That's why I didn't even try to put on no eyeliner or nothing. Look. Y'all know I'm real and y'all gonna get what y'all get. But yeah, I just had a crying fit from out the blue. Like, why is this happening? I'm finna go live. But then he showed me. Because I told y'all, I love y'all and I'm loving on y'all. And I share these things with y'all. But a lot of these things are for me too. Because it's been a part of my healing and my evolution. When I said 2025 was gonna be all the way live, baby, I didn't realize it was going to be all the way this live with all this kind of stuff. But hey. So, yeah. And I thank God for letting me get that out. To let you guys know why my eyes might have looked a little dim. Yeah, I had a crying fit right before it was time for me to go live. So, if you want to read a little bit about it, it's on my timeline. It's public. So you can. But yeah, God gave me that restitution. With something major. But it healed my heart. And I'm ready to move forward. She's still in my heart. but it's not all consuming. And I don't blame God, and I'm not mad at God, because I can still celebrate her, and I will, because she was vibrant. That was my girl. Anybody that knew her knew she was that girl. She was that girl. Okay. So, okay, guys. Ooh. Yeah, but next month, next Thursday, new series, February. That's love month for me. So y'all know the theme for February is for lovers only. And it's going to be a whole vibe. A whole vibe. So I hope you join me in February. I love you guys. And like they said at the school I used to work with, go with God because God goes with you. Okay? I'm going to talk to y'all soon. The Lord allows me to. But I'm telling you, for lovers only, it's going to be a vibe. Hope you join me. All right, babies. I love you. Bye-bye.